happening? Now, before I go any further, I gotta say some of you guys are holding out on me. Yeah, you haven't subscribed yet. So hit that subscribe button and get on board. Today's discussion: does she ride or does she ride? You know, a lot of us have significant others that love motorcycles as much as we do. And I know there are women who really enjoy taking a back seat and riding as a passenger. My wife, for one, she loves riding with me. She does have some very serious concerns about safety on the motorcycle, and especially in these days and ages where we have to deal with people, you know, texting and talking on cell phones while we're out riding. She prefers to take the back roads and stay away from the highways, and I respect that. You know, I'm not going to put her in a position where she's very uncomfortable. So we compromise with that. And I'm all for taking the back roads. Now, my wife, although she likes to ride, she doesn't have to be on the back of the bike every time I leave the house on the motorcycle. She's more than willing to let me to go out and ride on my own, do a solo thing, and she's fine with that. On the other hand, there are women that almost would refuse to let their husband leave the garage unless they're stuck on the back seat. I've seen that too. You'll never see that guy without his significant other. She's always on the bike with him. Then the third category we got are the women that actually ride a motorcycle. And there's a lot of them out there. There's some pretty famous ladies that ride. What was the one? Jessie Combs. She broke the land speed record, not on a motorcycle, but then she was killed in that accident too. But she was an avid biker. There was a Russian lady, Olga something or other, I don't know, but she was very famous for riding a motorcycle in Europe. And there's been a lot of, you know, you've heard of this Isle of Man race where it's a road race, the Isle of Man, and they're running this course. It speeds up to 200 miles an hour, and there's a lot of women that have taken trophies in this race too. So there's some women that know how to ride, and there's a lot of women that enjoy riding a motorcycle. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, before I go much further in this discussion, I will say I don't intend to stereotype women in any way, and I'm not pointing my finger at anyone in particular, no way, in any sense of the game. I'm just putting it out there for conversation, and I'd like to hear back from the women too. It seems to me that motorcycling has always been more of a macho sport. There's some danger to it, the thrill of the ride. So I think it takes a different kind of a woman to want to drive a motorcycle. And for this reason, I see more macho-looking women riding motorcycles than I do, you know, the attractive model-type women. Very rarely see them on a motorcycle. In fact, I hate to say this, but a lot of women that I see riding their own motorcycles are kind of scary looking. They're more of the big buxom type women, and rather than, you know, the attractive, shapely type women. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I have seen a lot of it. So, as far as women riding motorcycles, though, I have known a few that really know how to ride motorcycles. I've ridden with them on the road, side by side, and find them very agile, very good at riding. and I don't have a problem with that, but I've also seen women that were very unsure of themselves on the road. Well, I've seen men the same, but you know, they're afraid. They ride. They don't take so many risks as men. I would tell you a story about a woman that rode a motorcycle, and I rode with her on various occasions, with her on her motorcycle and me on mine. And I like to ride, you know, maybe 5 miles over the speed limit, but I can do the speed limit too. But she couldn't do the speed limit. She was always like 5 or 10 miles under the speed limit, which made it very difficult for me to ride with her. It was very frustrating. You know, I found myself slowing down and almost having to come to a stop and wait for her to catch up. And you know, what's the problem? So I have seen that end of the spectrum too. Now, in the world of motorcycle clubs, this is an interesting fact. And this is from my viewpoint. I may be wrong, because there may be exceptions to this. But there are clubs that are all women that ride. They all have their own motorcycle. But if you look at the one percenter clubs across the country, I don't know how many women actually ride the motorcycle. There's a lot of old ladies that sit on the back. But as far as actually driving the motorcycle as part of the club, I've not seen that. It seems to be kind of a man's world. So, I don't know. Maybe you've seen different. And if so, I'd like to hear that. I'd like to get that into the conversation too. So if you're a biker and you ride, does your significant other ride on the back? Does she go out with you every single time you go out? Or does she let you have your freedom to go out and do some solo riding too? Or does your significant other actually ride a motorcycle? I don't know, some of them won't ride a motorcycle per se, but they're more comfortable on a trike. In fact, my wife has said, she's told me, she said, I will never drive a motorcycle, but I would definitely drive a trike. She says, I would feel comfortable on a trike. And so, you know, we see a lot of women on trikes, probably for that reason. But what does your significant other do? Maybe you're a single lady and you've got some opinions about this, and I'd like to hear that too. Not pointing my finger at anybody, like I said. Perhaps if you're a woman and you ride a motorcycle, let me ask you this. Have you been stereotyped? Have you been picked on or heard comments made about riding? Because it seems to be something that could possibly take place. You may have even been made to feel like an outcast, like you don't belong because you're on a motorcycle. So, I don't know. Just some things I'm throwing out there for discussion today. Glad to have you along. Like I said earlier, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and sign up. It doesn't cost a thing, and it'll just come up on your notifications if you hit that little bell, bing, each time I put up a new video. Give me a thumbs up, like the video, and share it with your friends. And until next time, guys, ride hard and die free.